Sunrise Interviews is brought to you by Valley Strong Credit Union.
Welcome back. Your time now is 5:49. Sunday is Valentine's Day, and so here's your first heads up if you're just hearing that. And what better way to kick off the week than talking about love amidst the pandemic? Whether you're in a relationship or looking for one, the pandemic has certainly put love to the test. Joining us this morning, Jessica Burzloff, a local therapist, to talk about some ways to navigate love during the pandemic. Jessica, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
So let's start off with what to do if you're single. For people who are looking for love right now, what are some of the do's and don'ts? I mean, dating is hard enough. I can't imagine throwing the current situation into the mix.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm really grateful that I'm married and don't have to navigate this front right now, or anytime really. But, you know, it's not impossible to date during a pandemic, but you do need to be smart. But there's actual benefit to it, you know. For example, take advantage of technology for dates. You know, if you meet someone new, instead of rushing out to dinner, maybe do a Zoom chat. You know, there is a 40-minute limit, so you can always extend it beyond that if you want to. But heck, if it's not working out, 40 minutes and you're done, right? So there's some advantage there.
What about meeting people? I mean, so many of the ways that people meet each other have just kind of disappeared right now.
Well, fortunately, online dating was a thing prior to the pandemic, and it's obviously been a thing, maybe even more so after. So in that sense, this might be an opportunity to get to know people one-on-one without meeting in person, right? Take it slow, take a chance to develop the relationship and get to know each other over, you know, texting, phone calls, FaceTime, that kind of stuff before meeting in person. That can actually be a real advantage. But that said, you know, if you do decide to meet up with people, don't be afraid to talk about precautions for COVID and ask people what they're doing to be safe, which also kind of pushes the trust in the relationship pretty early. If you can't trust someone's COVID safety precautions, then you probably don't want to be in a relationship with them. So that's kind of a good barometer.
You know, you're talking about the pandemic also. You say you kind of want to ease off of all the doom and gloom, especially in the early days of getting to know the other person, right?
Sure. I mean, I think it's the hot topic of the day for all of us is to talk about the latest craziness that's going on in the world. But when it comes to dating, you know, maybe find some balance and focus on what you've been doing during COVID, any new hobbies that you've taken up, things that you're interested in, thinking about future projection, like what are you going to do when things go back to some sense of normalcy, and, you know, make the conversation light and get to know people outside of that doom and gloom environment that we're all kind of living in right now.
You know, just really quickly, too, I think online dating, it doesn't have the negative connotation that I think it used to have years ago, maybe a decade ago. But I still think there are people who are hesitant and hear, really scary stories about it. Do you have some encouragement or some good websites that you would recommend?
I don't have any websites specifically, but there are some good rules of thumb to practice when using online dating. And one of those is to get to know people really well before you meet in person. In normal circumstances, I may not recommend waiting too long before you meet in person, but because of the circumstances with the pandemic, it kind of builds in a little bit of time to get to know the person. Also, when you do end up meeting in public, meet in public, go to a park, make sure someone knows where you are, especially if you're a woman. You know, you have to be really cautious about these things. And so there are certain precautions you should take above and beyond just the normal COVID precautions that we've gotten used to, masks and social distancing, but also let people know where you are, make sure you meet in public, and make sure that you know who this person is and that people know who you're with. But other than that, I think that this is an opportunity to get to know people in a more intimate, deep way before rushing into the physical element of dating.
Yeah, and so important also. If you're feeling a little bit of despair, you're feeling lonely right now, just remember this is not going to last forever. Jessica will join us again on Wednesday, and she's going to talk a little bit more about how to nurture your current relationship if you're in one. I know this presents a whole new set of challenges for married couples who have maybe been isolated together for quite a while at this point. So I'm looking forward to that one as well and picking up a few tips. Jessica, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
All right, I'll see you then. Bye.